What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shown Off 71, aka Digadulamite.
Purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 242 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. Of course, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, we got Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Lover.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Hey, not much. Just happy to be here. Had a fantastic weekend visiting family and saw Joe, so that was good. Got to hang out with him for a minute. But yeah. So happy to be here. Happy to be home. Always fun to go see family, but it's always that drive back. You got that drive back. So, but like I said, happy to be home. So yeah, I'm happy to be here with all y'all.
All right, and of course, our show is a no-go without Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's up, man?
I'm maximizing my dollars this past week, so it's been good times. So and Des knows, but the listeners don't know. I am slimming down. I am slimming it up. You call me slim, not fat. So I traded in both of my PlayStation 5s. I have two PlayStation 5s for some stupid reason, and now I have two PlayStation 5 Slims, or the new model, if need be. So, yeah, my Uncle Daddy Warbucks GameStop was running a trade-in deal, so I wound up trading in both of my systems and getting a warranty upgrade, a controller upgrade, and got Spider-Man 2. I didn't own Spider-Man 2, so I'm good to go. I wound up selling my second copy of Spider-Man 2 over to Goonie, so thank you, Goonie, for helping fund my stupidness and get PS5 Slims in my life. So GameStop had a trade-in deal to where they were offering $410 in trade-in credit, and you were able to buy the PlayStation 5 Slim Spider-Man 2 bundle for a hot $425, so plus tax. So it kind of made it almost like a low-hanging fruit. I know I told you two guys about it, but you were all like, that's too much business taking the M2 drive out and all that business. So I totally understand. But now we'll probably talk in news where I'll probably be getting rid of these at some point, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, didn't you lose all your characters too for Tiny Titans?
Yep, I didn't forgot to back up my saves. I thought PlayStation Plus was in the cut, and guess what? It's not in the cut. So
it's not in the cut no more, yo.
No. But that's not that big of a deal.
So I thought GameStop wasn't offering real warranties anymore. Like you had to, if something was wrong, they'd replace it with a used item.
Oh no, I ain't paying for their bunky ass, booty ass warranty. I'm talking about just the warranty from Sony themselves. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Because to me, if something 86 is on that thing, GameStop's the last place I'm gonna go to. Not after all my business with them. I'm throwing shade on them, but it's like if you remember a couple episodes ago, I had an issue where I did an in-store order and it was dealing with the credit card chargeback and all that crap, and it finally got fixed. It finally got fixed on Friday, so I finally got my money. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what you do. We're messing with all them people.
I know. That's why I'm trying to maximize my gaming dollar over here, and then I'm getting maximized myself sometimes. So
you get maximized on you. Yeah, you get maximized on.
Yep.
Oh boy. Well,
PlayStation 5 Slim. I mean, it's not that much smaller than the other regular PS5. Des got to see it yesterday, and I don't know what your impressions of it. It's just another system, so.
That just took. I mean, the pop collar is not as popped. It's more rounded, a little slimmer. Unless it was going to be doing some kind of a performance upgrade or something like that, then I wouldn't have changed it. Just for this like a change in form factor. I don't think the change in form factor was enough to qualify a new
Trading
purchase or
in.
a trade. But again, that's how you roll. So I would be disappointed if you hadn't done this. So
Well, I don't know about you two gentlemen. I hate that damn that stand that came with the PS5. That
Don't care.
circular piece of shit. It always popped out. I even on one of the systems I traded in, I got freaking duct tape and I duct taped it to the bottom because it kept popping out. That's how infuriating that thing was to me. So
Can I ask
never
you a
had a
question
problem.
on that? Can I ask you a question on that? Were you
Sure.
trying to slide it instead of lifting it up and moving it?
Yeah, because I'm
Well,
lazy
that's
and I was
why.
bending
Yeah,
over and trying
that's
to.
why.
Yeah.
That's why you can't drag it. Yeah. Well, people shouldn't be dragging their consoles anyway, but you have to lift it up and move it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to place it, yeah, that to me was well, I'm doing it the wrong way, quote unquote, because I have my system horizontal instead of vertical. So that's sacrilege, according to some people. But the way my stand is, I don't have room to put in a vertical. The only console that's vertical really is the Series X, and that's just because that's the only way I can store it behind my TV.
Yeah, it's kind of
Otherwise,
it's a chunky boy.
horizontal.
My Series X is on its back. It's like laying on its back, going, hey, look at me, I'm Series X. I'm on my side. I'm ready for some gaming action. So, but
But
yeah,
yeah, you have to pick it up and move it. You can't drag it.
yeah, I've had my PS5s horizontal, and so yeah, it's just especially lifting it up, trying to move it for a little bit, kind of thing. And it's just always, it just seems like I don't have enough. I wish it was like Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man and be able to stretch down there because my belly gets in the way when I'm trying to bend over and pick the damn thing up. So the PS5 Slim does have nice little rinky dinky plastic feet, but those plastic feet do not move for nothing. They do not pop out. They do not, do anything other than keep the PS5 Slim from not having a limp. So
Honestly, they look like they'd snap if you dragged it.
Yeah.
They're very flimsy looking.
yeah,
That's one thing that I noticed about that. I don't know if they're made out of metal or made out of a stronger plastic, but
they're
they
stronger
look very
plastic
flimsy.
and they're embedded in. There's like slots where you stick it in and basically they're in there. I mean,
Hmm.
so they're in there pretty sturdy. So
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
That is my adventures the past week. So
okay.
I don't know if you can think of a good transition from that. But
Well,
No.
we're just going to move on to what is always our first topic on the docket, and that's going to be the playlist. So I can't remember who we started off with last week, so I'll just toss the mic back to Jabroni Chief. What you been playing, man?
okay, been playing the a setup PS5 game for the beginning of the week at least. So I had to take. I didn't do the trade-ins all at once. So I did one trade-in on Sunday and did the other one on Monday. And so basically, after I did all that, I should have learned my lesson. My living room console, I had a bunch of games on my M2 on there, and basically I could have kept them all on there, but I decided to go ahead and just start from scratch. So I've been working on installing games, and instead of loading the fridge up all at once, I've been like kind of piecemealing it a bit. I did go ahead and connect my USB with all my PS4 games on there, so that stayed intact, and I was able to do that. So try to play Division 2. I played Division 2 a little bit with Goonie. I put the Division 2 file once on my new PlayStation on the M2 drive. And then lo and behold, on Thursday, I tried to fire up Division 2, and I got a fatal error. And I tried to restore my licenses. I did that. and that didn't work. It wasn't starting again off my M2, so I decided, okay, let me move it from my M2 to my actual internal HD drive. The not the external because it's a PS4 game, but the actual drive inside the PlayStation 5. As soon as I moved it, the file disappeared. It never existed. So I had to re-download Division 2, all of 130 megs. 130 gigs. Gigs. Yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
man.
So yeah, that took a minute. So.
Quick question: But you have all your saves though, right? You got all your hours, right?
Oh yeah, no. No,
okay,
that saves in the cloud. Thank you. That's in the cloud. So Ubisoft's like, we're harvesting your information so we can sell you cosmetics. So they want to keep that in the cloud. So
cool.
Good. Yeah, if I lost that save, oh my God, been bad.
Be talking you down off the roof.
Yeah, they have to send whoever else. They have to send a division to help me out. So shit.
No, send Goonie. Goonie talk you down.
Yep. Oh, Goonie, I did go ahead. He helped me out. He was giving me some one-on-one, like Division 2, the in-game kind of synopsis. So I was sharing my screen and say, okay,
wow.
you need this gear and armor set for the raid. And
wow, the student has become the master.
You know it. And it's just the armor set I had been rocking for at least 2 months. I had a high.
And he was like, "Pish, this is garbage. Get rid of it."
You got it. Yeah, he was saying this ain't nothing for nothing on the. If you tried to do the raid with this, you're trying to get a high DPS, a damage per second build on here. So, I said bye and broke down a bunch of components. He even I was asking him for some advice because, me and my kleptomaniac, pretty much item hoarding, loot goblin ass. Yeah, I kept one of every gun in my my safe, my storage area. So I kind of played Destiny 2 and Destiny 1 that way too. I kept one of every gun just to have it, just in case I ever wanted to use it. And he looked at me, said, "You don't need any of those guns. You're not going to use any of those guns." And so, I wound up
Well, okay. The one thing that I will say in Joe's favor, and this is going to sound weird coming from me, but it's true. In Destiny, I can understand that because they frequently tweaked those guns in Destiny. So you have no idea which one of those guns would be tweaked and made better. So I actually did that too. I kept a couple of guns in Destiny, but the reason why I did that was because they tried, their whole thing was PvP, so you'll never know what gun they were going to jack up or make better because of PvE, and then by contrast, it would not contrast, but by making it better in PvE or PvP, it might be better for PvE. So that was always one of the things that I liked about Destiny, is because that's what they did. So I can understand that, but for Division, no, I don't think that's worth it, just because it's so heavily a PvE game. But then you think about, well, you never know because there's always the Dark Zone. But I think a lot of people, already have their sets ready to go for the Dark Zone. So again, I think it just depends on who you are and if you believe that they're going to be continually upgrading the game. But I agree with Goonie, though. You probably don't need all of them. I would keep probably newer guns, because every season they're probably going to be upgrading or updating something. So maybe newer guns you might want to keep, and anything that's like first season or stuff like that. Now those are probably booty butt cheeks.
Yeah. So. I wound up I kept the there's the tiers in Division. There's a if it's a named weapon, it's in orange, and so I kept all of those.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Here, all the regular ones, pretty much, nah. And then the exotics, there is an exotic tier in Division, and obviously you only could keep one equipped at once. So I went ahead and did that. So and kind of looking forward, and even though I'm not as hardcore as Goonie has been, I'm looking more forward to checking out more of the past story content from the prior seasons, that I missed. So we'll see as far as if I get into raid mode with Goonie and the Whiskey Vikings, the new clan I'm in with him. So
Yeah, it's up, Whiskey Vikings.
Whiskey Vikings, yeah.
Yeah, huzzah! I don't know what their catchphrase is.
I don't know either, but yeah, that's
Goonie in the Discord. Write down what their team shout is. Is it huzzah? Is it something that has to do with Vikings? I don't know what a Viking beer is, so can't say that.
A Whiskey Viking, yeah.
Or whiskeys. I was gonna say O'Doul's, but I don't think that's like non-alcoholic. So.
Well, I am in the Whiskey Vikings Discord, but only joined like a couple days ago. So.
Hot damn! Look at this. See, he's leaving us. He's leaving us, Kev. It's been turned. It's been turned to the Whiskey Viking size.
No. You could be a member of multiple Discords.
I know it's a joke. I'm too. So.
You know, I've been a member of GH Radio Discord for a long time. You see?
Yeah, you have been. But yeah, I think it's great that Goonie's sharing his love for Division with you. I think that's great.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully, he's just kind of leading me along.
He's gonna just understand though.
Yeah.
That if you don't keep up with him, he might leave you in the dust and.
Oh, he's already left me in the dust.
Then your friendship will be over. So, just saying.
Don't make me cry. So.
He'll find new friends. He'll become a drunk Viking. And then pillage.
Yep. And pillage, yes.
Pillage the Dark Zone.
Yeah, I wonder what whiskey, the Whiskey Vikings like, whether it's like highbrow whiskey or if it's like, Walmart brand like whiskey or something.
You can ask them on their Discord.
Yes, we'll have to see. So, also been playing Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, as Des alluded to. My saved went bonkers. It disappeared in the ethers. So, I am rolling a particular build on here. Let me look at my screenshot so I could tell you.
Isn't it a Clawbringer?
You got it, a Clawbringer. Okay.
Yeah, I remember because you just got the dragon.
Yeah.
The cute little dragon. You got the little dragon pet that's running around with you saying, "Hi, I'm a dragon." So yeah.
Yep, you got it. Yeah, so I'm gonna be rocking the Clawbringer on here. So I'm gonna be picking the Berserker as my second tier class once I get up to that point. But
I started over, that way I could be the same level as Joe, because he would have to do too much to get to where I am in the game, so it's just easier just to start over. And you keep, if what I understand, you keep all the money from all of your. I think you keep all the money from your other characters, I think, or something happens with all your colors. If you put them in the stash, you can keep all the stuff from your other characters. So I was like, okay, well, and I was like, what, it's fine. I like the game enough to continue to play it. So I was like, what?
I actually got into where I was doing more solo play, and so it's actually got some story sequences I missed because half the time I'd be all looking for loot while Desmond and whoever else is pushing the storyline forward, and so I'm missing the cutscene. So I actually got to see like, oh, where do I have to go for this? Because it's like I'm more like I was just kind of following along when I was playing with you guys. So.
Yeah, very Weekend at Bernie's, as you call it.
You got it. Yeah. I played a little Helldivers 2 as well. I haven't really gotten this past week. Haven't played too much. I haven't seen the mech that got when we liberated that one particular planet and whatnot. And there's a new cosmetic tier this past week, so I'll have to see what that.
New guns too. I've been looking at a bunch of folks online who follow the game, content creators and whatnot, and they were talking about it. So yeah, some new guns that people are reviewing. So
yeah, and then last but not least, I got in some Dragon Quest 1 in on the Switch. Still enjoying that game. See if I could try to beat that before we head out to Japan next week, and maybe fire up and start playing Dragon Quest 2 on the Switch. So see what happens with that. So
yeah, it's a good segue. We're this is going to be our last episode for 2 weeks. So Joe and I, like I said, are going to Japan. You can follow our YouTube channel, Gaming Vessels, on YouTube, and we're going to be posting vlogs from our gaming hunts, stuff that we're doing in Japan. I'll be hunting for toys. So yeah, please join us. I can't say how often they're going to be putting in. I'm going to try to do one like once every 3 days. I think that's a pretty okay rate at which to post stuff, for y'all out there. So please follow us over on YouTube. Let us know what you think, and yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I'll post stuff on Discord as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely going to link it to our Discord as well. So I'm just saying, if you could follow, we would love to have you following and subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Sounds like a plan. Des, what you've been playing this past week?
The only game that I've been playing really is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's kind of got its hooks in me. I really enjoy it. I am still playing my other Spell Shot character, who's a little bit further. But I am leaning more towards playing with Joe and letting him kind of lead the way. Because like he said before, usually if he's playing with me and Orguni, we're pushing him to go because he can be a bit of a loot goblin. And he's like, oh my God, shiny. And he'll run over to everything. So it does make the experience a little bit longer. So I'm going to try to curb my pushiness and allow him to, extract more value than I used to in this game. So that way,
so nice.
That way he can have more fun with the game. So I'm just gonna kind of sit back and
take a drink. Look at your phone.
Probably have another game going. That way, and then he can tell me when he's ready to go, and then we can continue on. So yeah, I'm going to try very hard to do that. So wish me luck, and yeah, we'll go from there. The other thing that I got, I hate to say this, and I don't know why I hate to say it, but I've kind of fallen into a rabbit hole with retro handheld gaming. Been watching it for like the last week. I have been watching various different YouTubers and reviewers who were talking about these different retro handhelds. And there was one by Amberlink, yeah, and the one from Ambernick, thank you, and the one from Pocket Mew. And I was thinking about which one I wanted to get, so I ended up getting the RG35XXH. That's a weird name. Everyone hates it. But the reason why I got it is because the H stands for horizontal. If you don't know what those retro handhelds are, it basically looks like a souped up Game Boy. The vertical ones basically look like a Game Boy, and the appeal to them is you put a emulator on them and you can play ROMs on them, and depending on how powerful or how powerful the system is, you can run all the way up to Switch games on some of them, or PlayStation 2, N64, Dreamcast, all these other systems you can run on them. But the thing is, it's these small form factor handhelds that you can take with you on the go, pop in, play a game, and go on your merry way. And so I was thinking about which one that I wanted, and I was reading reviews and watching reviews, and the one that the reason why I got the one that I got is because it is a horizontal one. So it's more like a Game Boy Advanced, how those Game Boy Advance were more horizontal, except it's square. Well, it's like a rectangle. And it's got two, what are they called? Two analog sticks. And it has the 4 buttons and the D-pad and the switches on the top, and it's great. It's easy to load your ROMs to it and to get going. It comes preloaded with some ROMs. I got it for $70 at Amazon out the door. I used some credit that I had, And I thought for a first handheld, and I say first kind of sparingly because what happens to a lot of these people is you'll get one and then you'll want to get another one. You want to get another one. You want to get another one because a lot of them are really inexpensive. And the community around retro handhelds is so rich that it makes it, it makes it easier to fall into this trap because everyone is helping everyone. Because the way that you basically get in is you don't use the stock OS for the system. There are community made stock OSs that make the gaming experience better. It adds, cartridges, it adds, sound, it adds retro achievements, it adds all these different things to make the experience better or in some ways just better, because usually the stock OSs, they're just built to run the games and that's it. And a lot of the times the chips that come with it, the micro SDs that come with it, are unbranded garbage. So you have to be willing to do some level of tinkering in order to get the best bang for your buck. And there are some handhelds that want you to tinker with them and make them better. And then there's some that they want you to do a little bit of tinkering, but then just go about your way. And the Anbernic that I got is that, like, you put in a new operating system, you load in your ROMs, and you just go. I don't want to be spending tons of times, adding all these different OSs and trying out all these different things. I want something that I can play, on the go, all these obscure Japanese or obscure arcade titles, and not have to worry about it. So that's the journey that I'm on right now. I probably will be posting a little bit more on the Discord about what's going on with that. If you are interested in my journey, please let me know in the Discord. And we can, start maybe having a small little channel for retro handheld gaming. I think it's fun now. I think it's interesting, and I'm trying very hard, not because, like I said, Joe and I are going to Japan. You can get old handheld consoles for like $30 that are quote unquote broken, but most of the time, or they're junk, and most of the time they're not. Something might be a little bit wrong with them. So I'm really hoping that I don't fall so far in the hole that I'm doing handheld restorations. I've been looking at people who do that, Game Boy Advanced, and it's really easy and it looks really cool to do it. So I'm trying hard not to fall into that hole. So So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now.
I know you said something, and it might be worthy of it, because I've seen some videos of current prices in Japan, and you could get yourself a nice used PlayStation Vita for like $60, basically.
Yep. I was looking at the Vita. I was looking at a classic Nintendo Advanced. A classic one, not the clamshell or the
horizontal Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, the horizontal one. I was thinking about getting that. I watched a video about that, an upgrade video about that, and it was just like, it looked so clean, like it looked amazing, and just like the screens are better. If you want to get crazy, you can make the sound better. You can make it so that it has a USB charger, and it's all easy. So, and there's sites out there that you can do it. So part of me is just like, how deep do I want to get into this handheld thing? And I don't know if I want to get super deep, because I do have two PSPs. I have one PSP they both work. One PSP that was completely hacked and can play, if it still works, can play most games. And then I have another one that has the stock OS from PlayStation that I never did anything with. But I never got a Vita. So part of me is thinking about picking up, an inexpensive Vita and a Game Boy Advanced. I don't really want a Game Boy Color or a Game Boy. I just never really got into those handhelds. But I really got into the Advanced. Like, I played the Advanced quite a bit. If Joe Joe can contest, because we played a lot of Pokemon on those games, on those systems. So
Yeah, and don't fade out because the DS Lite plays advanced carts, and that thing is fan-freaking-tastic too. So
yeah. No,
So-
I still have one. I still have the blue one. I still have a blue one.
oh, okay.
So I think it was called a Crystal Blue or Onyx Blue or something, or Midnight Blue. I have one of them that I got. But again, let me know what your thoughts are in our Discord. I'll make a Discord channel for retro handheld gaming. I'll just call it retro handhelds or retro handheld gaming, so then I can put some links there. For there's a couple of places that you can go for emulators and ROMs and whatnot. That is pretty community driven, and there's a bunch of guides. Retro Gaming Core is one that is a fantastic resource. So, but that's kind of been my my passion, quote unquote, for the last week. Let's hope it sticks, and I'm able to get some really cool stuff out of it. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have been doing. And then I spent time with Joe getting ready for Japan yesterday or Saturday, so that was fun. So,
Are you buying the Xbox handheld when it comes out?
I am not buying the X. You know what? Let me take that back. It really depends. Seriously, it depends on two things: form factor. Well, three things: form factor, what it offers in terms of gaming, and the price. And if the price is right and it looks good and it actually offers games, then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. But I don't know if they're trying to battle. They're trying to battle the Nintendo and the Nintendo Switch thing, and they're trying to do that juke and get like switch lanes and try to like compete with Nintendo. I don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't know if I can follow that. But again, we'll see what happens. I don't want to say never.
Yep.
So, Kev, what have you been playing, sir? Please say it was something, because the last couple times, sir, I was really sad for you. Sad for you, sir. Please tell me.
Yeah, really, the only thing I've played is Helldivers.
Still, that's something, though.
Yeah, I've just been really busy and tired. So I sit down to try and, well, let me jump into some gaming, and I wind up just crashing out, falling asleep. That's just where I'm at right now. Kind of burning the candle at both ends, which is not fun, but you got to do what you got to do. For Helldivers, I bought the new War Bond. I forget what they call it.
Yeah.
It's got the electrical stuff. The weapon du jour is that what do they call it? The sickle. It's the sickle rifle. It's got an alphanumeric prefix, but I can't remember what that is. But it's the sickle rifle. That is an energy assault rifle. That as long as you don't overheat the core, you have unlimited ammo. And that thing is beast mode when it comes to handling just about everything except the armored or heavier armored enemies. It destroys just about everything except those bigger, beefier foes, both on the automaton and the bug side. So what I'm doing now is I'm running that contact grenades and the autocannon, the portable autocannon, as kind of like my go-to loadout, and I've been doing okay with it. That's actually the kind of like the meta for solo play right now. The only thing I'm missing is the personal force shield. I don't have that. I have to be. I think that's that opens up at level 20, and I don't have access to that just yet. So what I'll either do is I'll either take a, depending on what I'm doing, I'll take either a sentry. I will take and I'll take two airstrike stratagems, usually the cluster bomb and maybe the honestly, I get more out of the pinpoint Atlas cannon shot, the single shot precision bombardment, than I do just about anything else outside of like the carpet bombing one. For I don't know, it's like for the other ones just don't seem to work that well for me. Like the napalm one, I don't think it's that great because these bugs are kind of fire retardant. Like they'll catch on fire, but unless you're using like the flamethrower, flame really doesn't slow them down. And the planets that I was on last night have these wonderful, because you know that they've added in the environmental hazards.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with flame tornadoes and
What?
yeah.
So okay. So we got the meteors. Now we
Yeah.
have flame tornadoes.
You got flame tornadoes. You also have volcanic eruptions on some planets too, where
Sure.
a volcano will just spontaneously start erupting and just dropping,
Sure.
you know, a fire and brimstone upon your head. But the flame tornadoes really are the easiest ones to deal with because you can see them at a distance, and then they're not actual tornadoes. They're more like dust devils, but they're made out of flame, and they leave a trail of flame. And they set everything on fire, including the bugs, but the bugs really aren't bothered by it. I mean,
Of course not.
they're burning, but I don't. They're kind of flame retardant in my
It's
opinion.
like just
because,
scratch.
yeah. So, but weirdly enough, if you hit them with a flamethrower, then that they'll react more to that. But I'm thinking, okay, so you got these multiple flame tornadoes, but my little flamethrower is going to actually be doing more damage. Okay, but I need to add the personal force shield, and that's kind of like the meta that I'm leaning more toward for solo play.
Okay.
And I'm just going to use that to open up everything else. I think I've dropped my heavy armor because I've learned after using medium and light that the mobility is just so much better.
Yeah.
The middle armor, the mid armor, I like it more than the scout because it lets you carry more stuff. You can, like, I've got one that lets me carry 2 extra grenades and 2 extra health stints. And for me, sometimes I need that extra oomph. And there's also one that lets you carry more ammo. I don't have access to that one yet. I saw that on a YouTube video. I can't remember what that ammo set is called. It's in the rotating store, I think. But so I'll have to try and keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I'm still loving that game. As far as Final Fantasy, I am kind of debating about putting that on the back burner, which I didn't think I would do, primarily because I have not played Crisis Core. And I need to play Crisis Core because and it's not really a spoiler, but Zack is in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You get to him really early. You play as him really early. And I need to better understand the relationship between Zack and Cloud. And that is fully explained in Crisis Core, which I have not played. So I'm kind of debating about running Crisis Core first and then going back into Rebirth. And really, if I'm going to do it that way, I'm at a great place to do it because I'm not really that far into Rebirth at all. So actually, I think that's exactly what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to table Rebirth. But then I've got Dragon's Dogma 2 and Rise of Ronin coming in later this week. So I think I'm definitely going to keep Final Fantasy in the rotation because that Rebirth is just so freaking awesome. Mechanics wise, that I don't think I'll be able to let it completely slip out of my play rotation, but I do want to get a better grip on the Zach Cloud relationship, so I think I'm going to go that way. But that's really all I've been up to. Not a whole heck of a lot, but that said, we're going to push on to what is our next topic on the docket. That's going to be the vessel line. So I'm passing the mic to Dez. You got it, man.
All righty. So the question that we had for our main event was, what makes a game great? Is it the mechanics, the difficulty, the story, or the price? Let us know your thoughts, and we'll discuss them on our next episode. Well, it's our next episode, and we have some answers or responses. So a new listener, thank you so much for joining us. Koro Shinkai says, I would believe it's a mixture of all of the above. Originally, all of the above. If a game has great mechanics but is too difficult, that would take away from the experience. That sentence could be used by any of them interchangeably, but my favorite type of game is one that is just perfectly hard to beat with great mechanics. Looking at the Soulsborne type games, because it makes you feel rewarded for doing something right. You know what? I think that's a really good thought, because I think sometimes you kind of think you got to think sometimes, what am I doing? Like when I'm playing this game, am I playing this game to achieve something? To beat some level of difficulty, or am I just here for the story? And there's different types of games, all the way from like super aggressive, hardcore, games like certain Soulsborns, and something as simple as a visual novel where all you're doing is basically reading reading the game while you're playing the game and making certain decisions. So I think so for that, it's just you want to experience whatever the creator is doing. And I think you're right. It is a mixture, and if the mechanics, if you're playing the way that you were speaking about, if the mechanics are good, and the mechanics make you sweat just enough where get good matters, then I think it really can open it up and make it really a really fantastic experience. Would either of you like to respond to what Koro Senkai said?
I know for me, mechanics that's really the what I base every game upon.
Yeah, that's kind of your bar.
If I can't get into the mechanics, the gameplay loop that you're offering, you can have the best story in the world, best graphics in the world. It's just going to miss me. So I definitely feel them on that. The Souls, I wouldn't say I'm a Souls fan. I appreciate what they do. Playing as far as I did in Sekiro, that's another game I need to go back into the cut and finish. Sekiro makes you really feel like you accomplished something, particularly when you've beaten either a mid boss or a boss. It really it tests your understanding of the mechanics of the game. So if you get that right, and you have even if it's by the skin of your the skin of your teeth, you just feel like you have conquered something substantial. So that is something that is very difficult to replicate, even in other beat 'em ups, even if they're quote unquote difficult. I felt that first playing Ninja Gaiden, the 3 games on the hardest level, and beating those games at the hardest level. the Soulsborne's kind of, and again, the only one that I've really played is Sekiro, and people argue back and forth whether that's a true Souls game, but
I would say it
just
is.
I would say too, but the mechanics, the parrying, the blocking, the dodging, the counters, uh, once you beat a boss, you really feel like, hey, it's almost like graduating. It's almost like a gaming rite of passage. That's how it feels to me. So I definitely feel what he's dropping.
Oh,
Joe, how about you? Oh yeah, Joe's
I
here.
was gonna say too is Kev, for you. I mean, when you mentioned if a game has great mechanics but is too difficult, would you say that's apt for Armored Core 6 for you on that? As far as, because I know you were having a hell of a time with that game with that one like sub boss. You know, we were watching you actually play on the PlayStation 5 when you were sharing your screen, and yeah, that looked like total just like frustration.
It was, but it didn't deter me from continuing to play.
Agreed.
See, for me, if I look at that stuff as a challenge, right? It's like I'm not going to let this boss beat me, and I may have to go back to the well, two times, three times, four times longer than the average player, but I don't let that stuff deter me because that's part of what I know. I knew that's what I signed up for, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's just what gives me excitement. That's what excites me as a gamer. Um, Getting that boss and figuring it out, and even if it takes me, I beat it in three times. If it took me 20, then so be it.
Yeah.
I still feel the same level of accomplishment, you know. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't traded back Elden Ring. And I Elden Ring is definitely a game that I want to get into play. A lot of people say that's the easiest of the Soulsborne types, in the genre, but I've seen some of those boss battles. I don't know if I
I
agree
don't
with
know.
that.
I don't
But
know.
that's something that I'm really looking forward to getting around to play. I want to pick a style, pick a character type. I think for me it's going to be the broadsword use. I forget what they call it. And I'm just going to work with that build and just be chopping these fools down.
Yeah.
And it's just going to the process is part of the fun.
Yeah.
And that's it's I wouldn't even call it an acquired taste. It's just that you either get it or you don't. It's either going to frustrate you to the point where I'm going to throw my controller, get this game and out, get this out of my face, or you're just going to be all right. I need more. What did I do wrong this time? What are the patterns? What are the tells that I need to look for? And that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah.
So
But that speaks what to John BT was saying next. He says a great game is one that's just outright fun to play. It can be complex or easy, but the game's mechanic can't get in the way of enjoying it. It doesn't always need to be a good story to be great. See Division and Monster Hunter. Woo! That's 5 words, sir. But it could have a killer story as well. See Control, Final Fantasy 7 and 15. It is really it really just it's really just when everything gels that the game becomes great. I would agree. I would agree. Just like we were saying before, um, it's got to be a combination, and it's got to be also the intent for the creator, or the company or whoever's putting it together. Like I really believe in the hearts of in the heart in their hearts of hearts. If a developer, you know, if a developer is honest and they really try to make a good game, then and they don't cut corners, and it's not about money grabbing and stuff like that. I think that they could do it. I just think nowadays there's this sort of, they have to justify the money spent to produce the game as whether it's going to be a good story or not. And I think that's one of the worst things that we could do is tie how much money it costs to produce a game to how good a game should be. Because I have played, multi-million-dollar games that have just been ass, and I've played, single A titles that I'm just like, wow, this is a really good story. So I think that's one thing we have to keep in mind as well. Burko says gameplay and story. Everything else I can look past. Also, if the music is good, that's just icing on the cake. Yeah, Alberto brought up another really good one. Music plays a lot in video games. Back when it was MIDI, and it was like the 16-bit, and everything was that weird like chiptune type stuff. I mean, we've been so far removed from chiptune soundtracks that I think a lot of us take it for granted, because people don't. Well, I think in general people take music for granted in a video game. I just don't think people really think about it, or how the music can set the atmosphere and the tone, which is a whole nother. My cat is agreeing with me. Which could be a whole nother conversation that we could have around music in video gaming. But Joe, do you have anything else to say before we close out this topic?
Well, music is great too. I mean, obviously they don't have orchestrated performances of particular game series if need be. Music is a great contributor on there. I mean, can you imagine like Dr. Wily? The whole theme involved, that iconic theme. Where if the music was kind of mediocre, you think it would carry as much weight? It probably would, because the gameplay was king. But that the gameplay plus that music and plus the control of Mega Man was just like chef's kiss. So
yeah, it's phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I definitely agree with you. Kev, you got anything else to add before we move on?
No. Well, I guess yeah, a little bit. Music does add a lot. I know that Final Fantasy 16 made you feel like a boss when that battle chorus chimes in every time you get into a fight. The right music for that kind of speaks to the scenario taking place, just adds that extra layer of immersion that
Yep.
that is just excellent when it all comes together.
Yeah, the extra layer of sauce, as they say, as the kids say. So
yeah. The thing about that, for me at least too, is I do not play music in the background when I'm playing games. I basically let the game kind of do its thing. So if it has some booty ass music, guess what? It's just part of the experience, unfortunately. So
yeah.
Bring me my booty ass music. Anyway, so thank you so much for all y'all taking time to respond in our vessel line. We love hearing from our listeners. If you want to know how you too can answer one of our main event questions and be a part of our vessel line, please stay till the end, because Kev will let you know how you can do that. But what follows me. It's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
All right, so we're going to head off. First thing we're going to talk about is there is a full leak of the PlayStation 5 Pro. So some developers that had access to Sony's internal hub as far as for documentation leaked from a developer portal, which was sent out this week to a wider band of third-party developers. So it definitely got out. Moore's Law is Dead did have a video on it. This is also confirmed by websites insidergaming.com, which Tom Henderson is a noted, he's not some guy just blowing up a bunch of smoke up someone's ass, basically, that this is actual true blue. You see that gif of that particular politician. It is definitely happening. So as far as
it was the worst kept secret.
Yeah, the code name is called Trinity, so they're keeping like the Matrix kind of theme going with these code names on here. But what they're targeting right now is improved and consistent FPS at 4K resolution, a new performance mode for 8K resolution, accelerated ray tracing as well. In addition, it's reported that Trinity will have 30 WGP and 18,000 MTS memory on here. So the leaked documents also confirm that the rendering is supposed to be 45% faster than PS5, 2 to 3 times ray tracing, 4 times in some cases, 33.5 teraflops
Woo!
on here. So yeah, I remember Xbox Series X was all advertising 12 teraflops of power and whatnot, so.
Give me my teraflops.
Yep. I know if they're measuring it by 16-bit teraflops, it comes out to 67 teraflops. I know that the Series X was based on 32-bit compute unit, but it actually is coming out to 33.5 teraflops. They're also saying that there is going to be something that's called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaling, so kind of similar to. Yeah, it's they actually filed a patent on this. So
I'm sorry, it's just the names they come out with this stuff is just hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So it's like if you know from the PC side of the fence where
it's a pisser.
Pisser, yes. Think about that. So yeah, it's a point that it's going to be some form of upscaling along with maybe some possibly checkerboarding on there, but it's an upscaling anti-aliasing solution on there. Support for resolutions up to 8K is planned for future SDK versions on here. So, to me, that's kind of, the PS5 actually had 8K a logo on the box, and that thing is just blowing smoke. So I could kind of call ish on that. They were advertising 8K at the beginning, but it seems like 8K is not being pushed as a new TV format. I don't think it's going to be pushed for a while. So we'll see when that comes. They're going to continue to evolve this system on there. One video I was watching, we were talking about that the PSSR pisser. It's going to be continually like evolving on there, and that they're using machine learning architecture on that as well. So also included with the system supposedly is an AI accelerator supporting 300 TOPS of 8-bit computation and the noted 67 T-flops of 16-bit floating point, which would be like the 33.5 with a 32-bit floating point. So this is kind of existing on here. So, and they know that
existing.
It is alive on here. So I guess that dev kits have been available for first-party studios on the PS5 Pro since September 2023, third-party since January 2024, and from spring 2024 coming up, test kits will also be available, which will be identical to the final product. So they're going to have like the final dev kit with all of the bells and whistles. More specs did come out like earlier today. It looks like here that they confirmed that the standard memory for the PS5 Pro is going to be 576 gigs. Basically, I guess the system memory is what it is. It's on the standard PS5, it's 448 gigs on there. So I guess that the PS5 Pro system memory is more efficient than the standard. The bandwidth gain is going to be over 28%. The CPU is identical to the standard PS5, but the Pro has a quote-unquote high CPU frequency mode, which will take the CPU to 2.85 gigahertz, a 10% increase over the standard console. The audio in the PS5 Pro runs at a higher clock speed over the standard PS5. It results in the ACM library having 35% more performance. According to these bullet points, more convolution reverbs can be processed and more FFT and IFFT can be processed. So on the GPU side, everything I kind of talked about previously. So that is all the specs up to the point. We obviously don't know anything about price point yet. We know it's probably going to be coming out in the fall, winter time, maybe September, October, November. What's your guys' overall impressions? Are you buying one?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy one. You kidding? Come on now.
How about you, Kev?
Yeah, but and I think I was listening to listened to Porter Rock's show a little earlier today, and he said something, and I feel the exact same way. All these numbers don't mean anything until we can see the difference in performance between the base and the pro. That's number one. So that means, I don't want to be dealing with 4K 30 anymore. I want to be looking at 4K 60. I don't care how you get to 4K. I'm expecting it to be, what they call fake 4K, where it's, super sampled and whatever acronyms they come up with to get it to 4K.
That's the pisser. So the pisser is going to come. Yeah.
If the pisser can do that, then fine. I don't care whether it's native or not. That to me, because when I throw it on my OLED, I'm not going to be able to tell the difference between native and not. So there's that. And if all of this stuff equates to, a standard 4K 60, maybe, 1440p 120 performance mode, day one. But I think people need to understand, if you think you're going to get all this stuff for $500, you're fooling yourself.
I think you can get it. I think you can get it for like $6.
You ain't getting it for $5. You ain't getting it for the current. You ain't getting it for the standard cost of the PS5. And that was something that P-Rock said that made 110% sense. If you're going to put this out as an enthusiast console, and you're going to have this at the same cost of the base PS5, it makes me wonder what the purpose of bringing this out is going to be. Because if it's at that $500 price point, and you come up and you're hitting me with games that are 4K 30, and third party is dropping games that are 1440 60 and 4K 30 quality mode, then what's the point? If it's going to be a pro, then make it a pro, meaning that it outdoes the PS5 in every measurable metric, giving you that performance. Now, is it going to match it? And I think something else that people are mistakenly doing is they're trying to compare this to PC. You can't do that. You can throw if you throw a budget of $5,000 into your gaming rig, you're obviously going to have something that can outperform any console on the market. But it took you $5,000 to do it. You can't compare this to that. What you're doing, what the Pro is supposed to be, is just giving you a better PS5, meaning that you can see it. That like Dragon's Dogma 2 is an uncapped, I think it's what they're saying, an uncapped 4K 30. So if I throw this Dragon's Dogma 2 into a PS5 Pro, and it's already been coded as being uncapped, I'm expecting this to be 4K 60. Otherwise, why spend the money? I might as well just stick with the base PS5 and just wait for the PS6 at that point. So I'm not expecting this. If this thing comes in at $500, then I'm going to be really skeptical about what its purpose is and what its performance capabilities are going to be. To me, I'm expecting this to come in. I would be comfortable, meaning I would expect the performances to be clear and present at a price point between 750. I mean, at 650 and 650, and I'd even go as high as 750. If it's not that, then I'm going to be wondering where's the beef.
There you go.
Yeah.
Where's the beef? And again, this is not going to take over the base PS5. It's supposed to be an enthusiast console, meaning that it does everything that the base does, just way better, and you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, only reason I could think of it coming in is at $5 if they decide to lower the price of the base console down to like $399 and maybe the digital to $349 or something like that. I could see where that would work. It's just I don't think there's been enough cost reduction as far as parts go with the console itself to be able to. I mean, recently they put the Spider-Man's bundle with the Slim on sale for Easter for $449. So, they're still trying to spike up these sales here and there. But I'm thinking, I think I had $649 as a acceptable price point in my head. I think 150 more would be nothing I would bat an eye at. Whether I would upgrade both of my PlayStations, probably not, just probably one on here to take a look, and then I'll also use the second one kind of as an ancillary device to play, on another screen if need be on there. I know we had some talk in our Discord earlier today. GHR Maverick said, my PS5 runs like a champ. I ain't buying shit. That's what he had to say about it. So this would be a slap in the face to PS5 owners. The PS5 wasn't in stock for nearly 2 years. We still do not get 4K 60 native. Why ask your customers to pony up more money? Pony, haha. So
yeah, and I think that's part of the misunderstanding of what a pro is supposed to be. Yeah. I say supposed to be. Now it's up to PlayStation to make that clear in their messaging. The pro is supposed to be a better base model. That's what it's supposed to be. And you're supposed to be able to say, hey, I'm going to take this copy of Dragon's Dogma 2. When I put in my PS5 standard, I'm locked at 4K 30. When I take that same disc and I throw it into a Pro, I'm at 4K 60. That's where the price difference comes in. You got to take PC out of it, and you just got to keep it apples to apples, console to console. It's not a slap in the face to PS5 owners because it's for, again, enthusiasts. When Ford builds a Mustang and they turn around and they give you and you go to the Ford dealership and you buy yourself a Mustang, and they come out a year later with the Shelby Cobra that has twice the horsepower, is that a slap in the face to you because you bought the base Mustang? No, it's not. It's an enthusiast. And if you were an enthusiast, you already know that Cobra is coming in another 1 year, 2 years later. It's the same thing. So yeah, I think people have like a gut reaction to some of this stuff. And I think they compare it, they compare it to stuff that's not really related, like comparing it to my PC can do this, and my PC has twice this performance, and all these flops and jops and pissers and all that. My PC can do 3 times, 4 times, 5 times that. Well, yeah, it should. You paid $5,000 for it, or $4,000 for it, or $3,000 for it. It should outperform this. That's like, duh. It should be doing that. If it's not, then you got ripped off.
Yeah,
but
I guess you don't have to buy it. That's the thing.
It's like,
comes down to.
Yeah, it's for the enthusiasts.
And I'll be looking more forward to seeing official messaging on this if need be. Obviously, maybe we'll see what's his face back out, doing a panel about the all the specs.
Mark.
Mark Cerny, of course,
Yep.
yes. I haven't seen that guy in a while, so on there. But we'll be curious to see as far as what the messaging is on this once they do announce it. Once it is revealed, kind of go from there. So we'll kind of take it as it comes on here. We'll probably have to make our future purchasing plans and see what happens. Maybe me or Kev will trade in our Xbox Series X to get the credit to be able to.
I can see it.
Yeah,
I might. I might because I'm just. we'll see. But for me, just trading in my PS5 for the Pro is going to be enough for me, and I'm already saving salting stuff away for this purchase anyway. So I've been since it was first rumored.
All right, we'll approach that once we have more meat to it. So, and next thing on the docket though is they recently SNK just had King of Fighters 15 finals this past Sunday as the day we're recording on here, and they unveiled a new trailer for their upcoming fighting game, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves on here. They have announced a early 2025 release date on here. No platforms have been confirmed. I'm thinking they're waiting for the new Switch to be announced to basically announce what platforms they're releasing the game for. So the game has a new Rev system on here, but they featured kind of Rev Guard and Rev Excel mechanics on here.
What a
They
name.
kind of tease them, but I'm thinking that's just like the Just Defended, the blocking system that's in Mark of the Wolves. So it's kind of similar from what I saw in the trailer. So they did confirm that they are going to get English voice actors in the game. So they did kind of show some characters that they're going to have in the game. So Rock Howard and Terry Bogard. Duh.
Oh, that's awesome. Then I can finally get an American actor saying, come on, come on.
Yep. Also, Hotaru Futaba, Tizak, our favorite Mexican wrestling man on there, and then Preacha is also another character as well. I think Preacha was in the kind of the art. If you remember, there was some key art that was released for a Mark of the Wolves sequel that they were planning but never released, and so this character is actually in the mix for that as well. So.
Cool.
So they also announced rollback netcode and a modern control scheme has also been discussed as well on here. So, they're going to try to have obviously better lag online on there. And for modern controls, they're taking a look to see if they could get more inexperienced players into the mix as well. So, and there's a couple trailers out. There's one with the English voice actors, also Japanese voice actors as well on there, but I'm kind of looking forward to this. I bought King of Fighters 15, but I haven't really played it all too much, and I think I've always liked the Fatal Fury side of the fence too. I've been a big fan. I mean,
yeah.
When I'm in Japan, I'm gonna be checking out to see if maybe I could pick up maybe some Real Bout on there. Real Bout Special is one of my favorite games of all time. So fighting games, and I do have my Saturn copy here somewhere. So, Kev, what's your overall, I know you're still stoked for this bad boy, but any thoughts?
Yeah, just day one. Day one for me. I'm Team Terry as opposed to Team Ken. So, I'm not that I have anything against, Street Fighter. I like Street Fighter, but I've always preferred Fatal Fury over Street Fighter. Since I discovered it at Festival Game Palace, but everybody was playing Street Fighter 2, so more often than not, I was playing Fatal Fury alone.
I know for me
Unfortunately.
at least, I always felt Fatal Fury 2 is when the series kind of came into its own. Fatal Fury
Yeah.
1 was okay, but
That's
nothing.
that's what I meant. Like,
Yeah.
and then the real bout, it was just like I was all about the real bout games. So yeah, this is gonna be a
Yeah.
day one get.
Yeah, it was my first fighting game experience was on Fatal Fury, the first one. So that's how I learned how to roll fireballs and do kicks. So that's my that's my jam. That's my system. That's my game. I want to play that game. So yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I don't think it does have it because I know Marketables didn't have it, but the old school Fatal Fury where you had multiple planes and
The
jumping back and
lanes.
forth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, lanes. Oh,
Well,
wow.
the
Lanes.
in tournament play,
Whew.
lane switching is not allowed because it almost for certain characters it kind of broke the game.
Yeah, it makes them unblockable.
Yeah, yeah, it kind of broke the game for some characters. So for tournament play, you were locked to the middle lane because that's where you have access to all your moves.
Yeah. And I know Marketables didn't have a lane system, so
No, it
I'm
didn't.
assuming this doesn't have as well. I would just love to see a lane system nowadays as far as
Yeah,
how that would be
it would be
implemented.
different. It would be
Yeah.
different.
I
Maybe
would
you
love
could
it.
bust out of mode, but okay. All right. Next story on the docket. There was another rumor talked about, and it's kind of rarely a surprise, but noted industry insider Nate the Hate stated that there's a strong case for refresh interest from Atlas and Xbox, and according to him, they are planning for Persona 6 to be released on the Xbox, they said. So for a while, people were talking about that they assumed Persona 6 would be a PlayStation exclusive because that's how they rolled previously on there. But especially with the Sega and Atlas kind of chum-chumming it up with the Xbox, it doesn't surprise me that they would release the game for the system along with the other platforms. I think Sega's been really pushing multi-plats as of late. It's kind of good because everyone gets to play all their games. They shouldn't be exclusive for one console necessarily. So, like Persona 3 Reload is on all platforms, but it's on Game Pass. Do you think, Kev, if there would be a possibility of Sega and Atlas taking the money hat to put the Persona 6 on Game Pass day one?
It might be smart for them to do that because and again, they're not going to buy it. They're just not. And that's not a slam on Xbox gamers at all. You like what you like, but it's been proven that when Japanese games come out on that system, they're not going to buy it. They're going to the first thing out of everybody's mouth is going to be, is it on Game Pass? So I say go ahead and take that game. If Phil's going to give you put enough zeros on that check to make the development worth your while to stick it on Game Pass, why not take that money?
Yeah,
I know where I'm going to be playing Persona 6, and
get
that's
paid.
not going to affect my enjoyment of the game. But we the whole issue has been, and I am convinced of this, that when time comes to negotiate putting this game on Game Pass, I mean, well, putting this thing on Xbox, the Game Pass question gets tossed out, and they look at the number that Phil's offering them and said it's not worth our while. We're going to make that we're going to make that in sales on the other system, on PlayStation and PC. Why are we be losing money if we took this? So if they cough up enough bucks, go ahead and do it, and then Phil can say yes. So I made these strives to get Japan, because Japan is so important to Xbox, that he loves to say every time he steps out on stage. Um, if you put enough zeros on that check, make it happen, Phil.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
think
Phil.
I think it's a good benefit for them. I mean, especially since they've been putting a lot of the prior Persona games on Game Pass, and Persona 3's, day and date, the reload is on there as well. So, I mean, once soon as I saw that, it's like kind of made sense at least. So I think day and date, especially on both on PC and Xbox, makes total sense. Persona, I think Sega and Atlas would make a mint. So I think whatever PlayStation would offer them to keep it exclusive on that platform probably is not enough to hold back the momentum. And if there's people exclusive on either PC or Xbox that want to play this game, just let them play the game. Just do it that way. So
I don't even know if it would be in PlayStation's best interest to fork that kind of money for Persona, not like it would be for Final Fantasy.
I think after a couple of years it would be. Seriously, I think after a couple of years. I don't know.
I mean, in comparison to what Final Fantasy is, as far as being a name brand in Japanese RPGs in the JRPG arena, I don't really know if Persona packs that same level of punch as Final Fantasy does. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I have no, but Persona being on the box, it'd just be say, hey, well, it's about time, because that's been the issue. That's been the issue. Is like, you guys are 2-3 years behind in getting some of these games. So if they can make it happen, more power to them.
But that's why I think it's, after a couple of years, they can justify it and be like, we got this new game for you, even though it's been out for a couple of years. I think that's pretty much what they're looking for is games that's, that they can kind of like, for lack of a better word, buy on the cheap and then put on the system.
But that's not really helping their issue of day and date, though. That's the problem.
Because it's not about day and date. For them, it's about longevity and trying to get something that maybe the people want. I don't really think so. Because if they're saying like, hey, you might not be able to play it day and date, but you can play it's on the system, so now you can play it now. I think one of the things that we're forgetting is people who have that system, or have like Game Pass or whatever. I don't think day and date matters to them. I really don't. I think they know that they're gonna have to wait, and they're willing to wait for it. Anyone who has done any kind of streaming knows that you're not going to have first run movies on your streaming service usually, because they're not going to pay that premium to have it that quickly. So
it depends on, I mean, there's a subsection of Xbox fans that want further support for their platform, especially for Asian games and whatnot. I follow a thread on Resetera, and they basically track any new game announcements and kind of make it a point to point out if it's been announced for Xbox or not. And they're not quote unquote port begging, but they're more just wanting to see lifting up games that were announced and kind of go from there.
Again, it's not port begging. I just believe that people who have Xbox Game Pass are more willing to and understand that they ain't gonna get stuff at the beginning or day and date.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what we have to understand. That's why, again, I think that, I've said this multiple times, Xbox is playing a different game and they're willing to wait for it. And I think the people who have that, that system are willing to allow that. So that's why I don't think Persona 6 needs to be day and date on Xbox. Just the fact that it could be coming in the future is enough to satiate most Xbox users, because again, they're willing to wait. They are willing to wait. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's kind of crazy about this whole thing is like, day and date exclusivity, all this other stuff. That's great and all. But if you have a fan base that's willing to wait, then there's no rush. There's no rush.
Yeah. Well, the arguments that I keep hearing are, we want this day and date. People are still talking about the fact that they still don't have access to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's going on. It's over 2 years now since that game dropped, and they're saying we want it day and date. And I don't know if it's just a small percentage of vocal people in relation to the rest of the Game Pass subscribers who are willing to wait, like you said. But I just keep hearing their desire for day and date. My question is, does that desire equate to you actually would be being willing to buy the game? Because if not, then why are you yapping? You just get it when you get it.
I think that's the thing. I think they're, by they I mean the Xbox folks who have. So it's weird because they've kind of, by they I mean Xbox, has kind of I don't want to say splintered, but they've kind of they have two different types of consumers. They have the consumers that are, Game Pass consumers, and then they have consumers that are gamers who want to buy games on that system. And I think what's happening is the folks who are quote unquote gamers are wanting the day and date. And I think and they're the ones that are yelling the loudest, but I just think that Xbox is becoming a much more, I hate to use this word because people are going to probably try to skew me, a more casual gaming experience. So yeah, you want to be, treated like everybody else, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the people in charge see it that way. They don't need to bring games day and date. They don't need to do that. Because they have this system. They have this system already that they're working towards with their Game Pass, and then you have to ask: do you want day and date on Game Pass, or do you want day and date as the ability to purchase it? Because if you're looking at people that are going to purchase this game on Xbox, I think that's a very slim margin. I really do. So I think the people that are yelling the loudest are people who are much more vested in the Xbox ecosystem, or they are the Colt Eastwoods or whoever else, the people that are super in and doing stuff for Xbox. I mean, I think those are the people that are like, we need to have this or we need to have that or something like that. Like, these are streamers that play games, all day, every day. These are not the people that, work a 9-hour job, have 3 kids, come home and then game on the weekend, or play games with their kids. Those are not the people. They can wait. Trust me, they can wait. So I don't know. I would love, they're never going to do this, but I would really love to see what Xbox believes is their core base of people. And see what that is. I would be.
They've already said it's everybody.
See, that's a lie. That is a lie. You say everybody to try to make everybody happy.
Everybody.
No, that's a lie. You have marketing segments. Come on, everybody. No, that's some bullish right there. Fresh bullish in the pasture. Ready to go.
It's kind of crazy to me because I know with PlayStation fans, I don't think there's a lot of PlayStation fans out there that just basically feed off PlayStation Plus, the different tiers, like if they had the premium tier or the extra tier, and just basically use the games on the service. I know I saw some people basically posting that they're kind of they're going check to check and they don't have enough money to buy the new Final Fantasy, so they are enjoying games on the service on PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium and kind of getting their fix or satisfaction with new games that way. So that's
different. That's the difference that I'm talking about. The cool thing about PlayStation, and this is not a PlayStation ad, is they have really cool first party games, and I just don't think that PlayStation is trying to rely on PlayStation Plus. They're not. They have a pretty damn strong studio, and they're able to make other games that will sell really well. So I think that's the main thing that's different between them. And I think once people just understand that and stop being mad about the horse you backed and just kind of get fed, get what you want from it.
Yeah, the thing about it is that Xbox could have had the more fervent physical fans on their platform if they happened to promote that, but they put too much of their emphasis on Game Pass a few years ago when they brought out the service, to where it's like, I think Game Pass and Xbox are kind of basically one and the same as of nowadays. And as far as that's perfectly fine, but it's just like, if it's done on Game Pass, like the whole confusion about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, even though it had the marketing thing on the Xbox where they were marketing the game, a lot of people didn't know if the game was on Game Pass or not. So, to me, I assume a marketing push equals Game Pass for Xbox.
Well, they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
That's why it's confusing. People don't know. Like, people honestly have no idea. And because they pushed it so much, and they've trained their folks so much, that this is it. I mean, this is it. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just, this is it. This is what you got. And good or bad, and different, whatever. This is what you got. So,
all right. Another news story I just want to briefly touch upon. Grandia, the noted RPG series from back in the day on the PlayStation 1, Dreamcast. They previously had an HD collection for Grandia 1 and 2 that came out for Switch and also on Steam. They have finally, Gung Ho has finally announced these games to come out for both PlayStation and Xbox. So both of those games are going to be available online. Also, Limited Run is doing a physical version of both as well. Both the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions will be available for $54.99. Kind of a lot for two old RPGs if need be, but if you want the physical and you want to back on that Limited Run, order it and get it like a year later, by all means, go for it. I'm a big fan of both Grandias. I really love the first game. On the PlayStation, I wanted to play it on the Saturn, on the console it originally came out for, but it never got released for Western territories. There is a translation now for the Saturn version, which I'm kind of taking a look at and possibly thinking about checking out as well. And of course, people were commenting, why this takes so long, and a lot of Xbox fans are happy that's being brought out for their platform too. So
yeah, I'd be happy too. Shit.
Yep. So, Des, any do you like Grandia, or you think you're going to play?
I think I beat the second one. So yeah, or the first one. I beat one of them.
Yes. Both of them, yeah. So
I think I'm gonna get it though. To be completely honest with you, I'm probably gonna end up getting it on the Switch. Get the Switch version. I think it plays really good on the Switch, and it just looks good on the Switch. I mean, I've been sitting thinking about it for a long time, and I don't understand why it took that long to get it on this on any of the other systems. It is kind of wonky that happened, but at the same time, developers gonna develop. So what are you gonna do? I'm just happy that it is coming out, and this great game can have more of a wider audience. I would say do not buy it from
Limited Run.
Yeah, I don't buy from Limited Run. Like they're charging way too much. You can get it from like PlayAsia for like much cheaper, and it's literally the same game. So don't you don't need to buy them, because it's just get it from another online place. I just want to try to save you some money. It's not worth it. You would really be doing yourself a disservice, in my opinion. It's just
I might buy it. We'll see.
So Limited Run is not actually doing the printing of this. It's being done by another party.
No,
Square Enix.
No. Limited Run is doing it. It's just you could get another copy from like an outside source, like a PlayAsia or something for a lot cheaper. Is what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
Like the same game that Limited Run is selling, the
yep.
same with the same. How does that? How does
Well,
that
because
look?
it's
I thought
Limited Run is doing the NTSC, the North
the U.S.
American
distribution.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
what Desmond's saying that, and I haven't seen an announce yet for Asian territories, but there might be a run in Asia, especially that would have the English and the full both games on the same collection, possibly on there, because obviously Limited Run does not exist in Asia and Japan.
They do actually. They have another Europe. They have I think it's a European
they have a
version or Japanese. Yes.
Yeah, they have a Japanese, basically company
Remember the name
that's
of
set
it.
up over there. Yeah, so I think
can't
it's.
remember the name of
I'm
We can
trying
look
to.
it up later.
It's called Super something. I forgot. So
Super Joseph.
there you go. So, but I'll be taking a look at this for sure. So
Super Joseph the Iron Titan. That's what it is. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth. I think it's definitely worth getting. I just haven't bought bit the bullet. It's been out. Honestly, it's been on. It's been out for a very long time. So
yeah, for the Switch, yeah, you can't get the physical for the Switch. You could get the physical in Asia, but the limited run pressing of that game was
it's
like a year and a half
gone.
ago. Yeah,
Long gone. You can't get that anymore.
Yeah, the Japanese kind of company that's sponsored by Limited Runs called Super Deluxe Games.
Yeah,
so,
there you go.
Yeah. All right. Next thing I want to talk about real quick, game that Kevin liked very much, Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons is getting a free DLC. So they announced a Sacred Reunion DLC. It's going to add 3 new characters, 2 new modes, online co-op, and new upgrades. So it's kind of crazy that online co-op wasn't in here to begin with, but
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So let's see here. What are they adding? Okay. Ranzu will make his grand return. I guess he was last playable in Double Dragon 4 on here. If you need a new challenge, you could use Ranzu's powers in the brand new survival mode. Survival mode will challenge you to defeat waves of increasingly powerful enemies. So it looks like they have a horde mode where you beat 'em up enthusiast on there. So you're able to buff your character between rounds with the new upgrades and last as long as possible on there. And also is going to support online cooperative play as well on there. So this game's on my backlog. I should have been playing it, but I have not tried it out yet. So maybe some online co-op will kind of stir the pot per se on this bad boy. So any thoughts, Kev?
It's fun. I did not fall in love with it immediately. I just had to learn how to play the game. And when I say learn how to play the game, I'm not saying that it's mechanically difficult. It's very easy, but it is not does not play like your traditional Double Dragon game at all. So you have to be ready for that.
Sounds good.
All right, and last but not least, last news story for this episode, Gameloft has announced a new Dungeons and Dragons game in development. So in partnership with Hasbro, they are working on a new D&D game for consoles and PC. It's being developed by Gameloft Montreal that has previously developed Disney Dreamlight Valley and Lego Star Wars Castaways. So,
oh no, I'm ready.
All right, and this game is going to be set in the Forgotten Realms. And we'll have cooperative gameplay built around a hybrid of survival, life simulation, and action RPG. So it's talked about, yeah. So, you want to go survival game, like Pal World or something, combined with life simulation, you're going to be in D&D and doing some Animal Crossing ish, and then doing some action RPG business. So I don't know what you want to say about this or not, but You know?
I don't know about this.
Yeah, I don't know about this either.
Like,
You
I just
know?
want a regular. I just want a regular action game. Like, you don't need
I,
to be reinventing the wheel with this. Like, this is D&D, folks. You saw what
yeah.
Larian Studios did. You just do a little bit more of that, and we're good to go. You ain't got to no. Yeah.
You know, Disney Dreamlight Valley with like D&D characters. I don't know about this.
But just the thing, like, I don't want to be a barbarian who has to farm and do stuff like that. Like, I don't need live sim stuff in my D&D game. I just don't. I don't. I mean, but again, people might like it. People might be into it. So, to each their own. But I'm just not. I'm just not sure. For me, I'm not sure that this is for me. That's all I'm gonna put on that. Because wow, wow. Okay. I don't know, Joe. I don't know. Like, I was excited until I heard it was all going to be all that stuff. I was like, damn. Like,
Yeah, Gameloft was. I guess they previously worked on a few games, a series called Dungeon Hunter, which was a very generic ARPG, kind of similar to the old Baldur's Gate games on here, or the
sounds
Baldur's
familiar.
Gate Dark Alliance games. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds familiar.
I played it on PS3, if you remember it. So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
played it together on PS3. I
Yes,
think it was
okay.
published by Ubisoft, I think, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. So
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh no.
yeah, I think they had the smoke basically to do a D&D game, to tell you the God's honest truth. It was a very generic Dark Alliance game. And the last Dark Alliance wasn't all that great either, but to say the least. So,
well, hey, we we're just gonna get it. We'll see how it works.
sorry to end the news on a.
I'm gonna let him cook, as the kids say. I'm gonna let him cook.
Yeah.
I might not be eating what they making, but I'm gonna let him cook.
Yeah. Hopefully, we don't need a bunch of hot sauce and ketchup or whatever else to make it palatable. So.
Hot sauce and ketchup.
or whatever flavor that you savor.
That's funny.
Joe's out of control here, so
I know I'm out of control, and I'm out of control. I'm out of news too. So that is the Jabroni Gaming News for episode 242, gents.
All right, so that brings us to game night. Takes place every Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Thursday's the day of the week we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So if you've heard our show and you like what's going on and you think that our Discord community might be a good fit for you, I would invite you to join our Discord. Go to our channel that says Game Night and mention a game that you'd like to play, and we will be more than happy to join you. If we don't already have it, we can get a hold of it. We have all the platforms, so that's not an issue. So you might be asking, how do you join the Discord server? That's easy. You just head over to Twitter, the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X, XXXXX. And you head on over to @GamingVessels, GAMINGVESSELS. You click the link in the bio, and you're in. So you don't have to go through a waiting period, and there is no Patreon tier list to pay for. We just ask that you be a good person of like mind who enjoys talking about gaming with other people who enjoy talking about gaming without the personal insults and questioning the legitimacy of your parentage. So if you can do with all that nonsense that goes on in much larger social media platforms, I think you'll find a nice home with us here on our Gaming Vessels Discord. So definitely want to invite you to take part in that. Big kudos go out to our new listener, Kota Senkai. Thank you very much for your response to our vessel line, as well as our longtime generals, John BT and Alberto. Shout out to all three of you for making this episode just a little bit more impactful and enjoyable, and increasing the discussion content that we have, because we like interacting and getting responses from those from our questions that we post up for our vessel line. So, folks, that is going to bring episode 242 to a close. I want to thank you for chilling out, hanging out with us. So, for Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Lover,
That's me.
aka the Cat Daddy, aka that Gamer Stat Daddy, and for Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
You.
You might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I am Shonuff71, aka Digga Dulamite.
Konnichiwa.
And again, we will be back in 3 weeks? Or 2 weeks or 3 weeks? I can't remember.
It'll be 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, okay. Yeah. We'll be back 3 weeks, episode 243 for your ears. Peace.